And this is Fear-Free Living. And we're going to talk today about when you don't want to live in your body and what that's all about. That is my kid getting ready for a show over there.
Hi.
Hello, a different show, not this show. We're having a live event
You
here
want the Zoom link? Let me know.
on Friday night. But I was not able to join you the last couple of days. Life, life happens, right? So here I am. I'm just going to hop on and talk to you about, here, let me put it in here. When you don't want to live in your body. Oh my gosh. That's what we're going to talk about today. And it looks like we're on D Live. Looks like we're on Twitch. Looks like we are on YouTube. And usually this will go nicely onto Facebook because I'm on Chrome. I didn't realize for a long time that you can't really broadcast live on Facebook unless you're on Chrome. How weird is that? So I'm trying out a new camera, the Logitech camera. Um, so we'll see how that looks. It's weird. It's kind of looking blue in here. It's not really that blue. I'm not really that blue. In any event, welcome to Fear-Free Living. And I want to talk to you today about when you don't want to be in your body, when you don't want to live in your body. Did you know, friends, that your body is your Earth suit and it's designed to keep you safe in the atmosphere of planet Earth, just like a spacesuit is designed to keep you safe in heaven, allow you to function, in outer space, excuse me, or allow you to function, allow you to breathe, allow you to be okay, right? Or let's say if you really want to do a deep dive into the ocean, you know you're not going to last very long without a scuba suit, tank, all the requisite gear that you need to not to be warm enough, not to go into hypothermia, to and to be able to breathe and function under the water at various atmospheres of pressure. So your body is that thing that makes it possible for you to survive here, to be a part of the world and to interact with it. You are a spirit. That's who you primarily are. You have a soul, mind, emotions, and will, and you live in a body. Your body is the place where you live. It's not who you are. And your brain is part of your body. And so, guess what? You're not your brain. You're not the reductionist view of life is that evolution brought us a series of processes by which chemicals are functioning within our bodies, and we've developed this complex living organism, and that our thoughts, our beliefs, or our biochemical changes, and so on and so forth, and it's all just a matter of function of biology and materialism. However, I absolutely don't believe that's true. I believe you're a spirit, first and foremost, created, an eternal spirit, and that your soul, your mind, emotions, and will interacts very intimately with that in a body, and that the value of who you are and what you think and what you believe and what you feel is not just a matter of the rolling of the dice of a few million years to get you to this chemical set of responses to stimuli, right? No, there's a much deeper thing at work. And if you are reductionist, um, if you are a reductionist, you see yourself as primarily what you feel, your body. And so there are people who have such difficult experiences and their bodies are reacting so powerfully, they really would prefer not to live in their bodies. And there's a way that that happens. Dissociation is called that. That's what is dissociation. That's where you find a way to be as disconnected from your body and from the rest of yourself as you possibly can. That's the feeling when you say, I'd like to live anywhere else but in this body. Sometimes people feel that when they're obese, when they're overweight, when they're in pain, when they're suffering different physical, hey, Liberty Joe, um, different physical experiences that are very uncomfortable. And so we don't take the reductionist view that you're just your body and you're just the biochemical chatter of an evolved brain structure. No, we're saying you live inside this earth suit that was beautifully designed and created to keep you safe and allow you to function. And when your brain is doing its hardest work to keep you safe, it is triggered by things that are in your mind. Your mind is not your brain, and you're not your body. Your mind is part of your soul, mind, emotions, and will. And what can happen in the mind, in the way you think, what you've chosen to believe, even if you aren't aware that you've chosen it, when you experience certain things as a soul, it's spirit and a soul. It affects you emotionally, and it affects the sentience, the thoughts you think, the things you come to believe. That then, my friends, programs the brain. And the brain tells your body what it has to do to keep you safe. Now, if you've experienced a lot of trauma, your soul goes into overdrive trying to find a place to put that, and how to understand it. Children who are highly traumatized come up with deep and elaborate stories about why that happened to them and what they have to do to be safe, how they have to be perfect, how they shouldn't make mistakes, and how they have to navigate in a terrifying world. And a lot of that happens on a non-conscious level. What happens is on the conscious part of you can only handle so much stimulus, so much pain, so much anxiety, so much hurt, and conscious awareness of danger, that your body will serve you by starting to tuck that away into the non-conscious parts of you. I think that's why some people say time heals all wounds. Well, time doesn't heal all wounds. It just helps. Time helps your brain when you have a lot of stimuli. It helps your brain file it somewhere in your non-conscious mind so that you can function better. That's what happens. That's why you can be totally obsessed by something, upset by something, having constant thinking about it when it's new, when it's fresh, when the pain is fresh, when you're upset. And then over time, that will dim. The volume will come down on the intensity of those kinds of thoughts and those kinds of feelings. That's because your brain is designed to help you function. And if it's taking too much time and energy, over time, that brain will help to file those pains, those thoughts, those beliefs in your non-conscious self so you can just function. And this is a form of dissociation. That's when you are hey, Wonder Warrior, that's when you slice off parts of yourself. You dissociate. You no longer associate yourself with certain experiences of you in your body. You cut them off, you put them in little slices, store them in various parts of your being, your non-conscious mind, in order to function, in order to stay present. You have an incredible ability to dissociate. Dissociation happens when you're driving down the highway and you got to pay attention to where you're driving, but all of a sudden you're thinking about Disneyland and where you were or what somebody said to you. Somehow your brain is paying full attention to the road, but you've gone somewhere else. This is a very complicated function of the body, of the brain, of the mind. And you were created with this incredible ability to be able to cope, tolerate, tuck things away so you can just function and be safe. It's a function of your earth suit. But what will happen is if that continues to be tucked away deeply, and the pain and the issues that make you, that put you in a state of unsafety, of threat, of danger, if those are not dealt with, if the beliefs that you have accepted about those situations are not really examined, cleared out, and replaced with the truth, those things get stored more and more and more deeply in you. And if it's an extremely traumatizing situation, it gets buried. All pain is stored as memory and pictures in the cells of your body. And so what happens if that happens to you, and your body's going to take so much and store it away and find places in the mind, in the brain, in the communications of your neurology to store things. And you can actually get to the point where then it's living in you. It's a reality, the pain, the anxiety, the stress, it's alive within you. And over time, it can create a deep experience of physical illness, depression, anxiety, this kind of white noise that keeps you disconnected from people. You're not really present. You can have things that pop up and they're triggered out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're upset and you're anxious, panic attacks, these kinds of things. This is when it doesn't feel good to live in our bodies. This is when our body is carrying so much because we've been through so much that hasn't been sorted through and healed and framed in light of the truth, your body can feel, there are people who don't have very much of a strong feeling of connection to their body. They're not super body aware. They may carry a lot of pain and not be aware of it, or they might be only all about the pain and never able to feel the pleasure or the joy of being in their bodies. There's a way in, if your body's carrying an enormous amount of stress, pain, trauma, as pain is stored in your cells because of that non-conscious experience, then it will actually become a place that's not pleasant to be in. Your body will not feel good for you to be in if all that's there, because it's busy just trying to keep you safe, just trying to help you function. But there comes a point in time when your body can physically break down from the storage and the energy it takes to store pain and trauma for you somewhere out of the way so you can just keep on keeping on. Isn't that interesting? So if you're one of these people who has had an experience of not enjoying your body, maybe hating your body, maybe feeling like your body has failed you, and that you get into situations and all of a sudden your hands are clammy, you're trembling, your knees go wobbly, you can't think, that can feel very much like a betrayal of the body. Why is it doing this? Why, if you have panic attacks that feel like they come out of nowhere, right? Panic attacks can feel so irrational. Well, what is it about this situation that all of a sudden I'm out of control? My body's betrayed me. I don't want to be in it, right? Well, the amazing thing is it's incredibly logical. It's very logical. A loving God has created you with a body that will do absolutely everything it can to take the pain you've offloaded, the ideas that you've lived with, the things that are stored deeply in you, and try to find a way to balance that for you so you can continue to function until you can't. It's like when you have an injury, any chiropractor or whatever will tell you this, you have an injury to one part of the body, another part of the body will take over and overcompensate, and all those muscles, say you have an injury on the right side, those left side muscles can very often overcompensate to create stability and allow you to do something. And you go, cool, I'm great, until, however, that can create a whole set of responses and physical issues in that other side of the body that's overcompensating, right? So this is kind of what happens with the emotional side of things. Your body can be a massive compensating coping machine for you until it can't, until it's taken all that it can, until it starts to come unhinged with various forms of disease and various forms of acting out. Your body will act out, just give you a good old panic attack, just send you into fight or flight responses, tie your stomach in knots, just kind of like, look, I've tried to hold this for you, I've tried to store this for you, but you need to know it's there. Warning, 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 wake up. These are warnings. This is intelligence. This is information our body gives us to let us know that it's storing beliefs for us. Bodies store beliefs. Why? I've told you this before. If you see a rubber snake on the ground and you don't think it's a rubber snake, you think it's a real snake, your body's going to react to that as if it's a real snake. You're going to jump back, you're going to freak out, you're going to run away. It goes into all the hormonal changes that to keep you safe, the muscles tightening up, the changes to the brain, the changes to the digestive system, the changes to your respiratory system. Everything goes into work immediately. It's a rubber snake. But your body does it anyway, because in that moment when you first saw it, you believed it was real. And that's all it took, even for a moment, for you to go into a very dramatic physical response to danger, right? So this is amazing, but it takes its toll. And over time, people can actually get to the point where there's so much stored in their bodies and so much pain, they live as disconnected as possible from that. And they numb significantly, pour the weight on, live in obesity, numb out with various forms of addiction, come to the point where they're not even aware. There are people who are so bodily unaware, they can't tell you, they can't really articulate And then there are people whose bodies are so hyper, overly sensitive, where every pain, every ache, everything becomes a traumatic reminder of something that they haven't processed yet. So the body's amazing. You want to pay attention to your body. You want to know that it's designed to help you. It's a gift to you. You need to pay attention to it. And you need to realize when physical things are catching up with you, it's time to begin to dig deeper to find out what's happening. This is why the PTSD thing is incredible, especially people who've been on the battlefield. The body is storing all those memories. Let me tell you, I had a guy sit at my table a couple of summers ago who had an 8-level PTSD continuing memory cycle that affected him physically. And I took him through Praying Medic's 3 steps to emotional healing at our dinner table right after dinner while people were doing the dishes. And he got healed from a very serious traumatic memory of Desert Storm. And I saw him last year, a year later, and I asked him, I said, hey, do you remember that? How are you really doing? What happened? And he had to stop and go, oh, yeah, that's right. No, I don't think about that anymore. Doesn't hurt me anymore. That was his traumatic PTSD memory that triggered his body. That gave him the I don't want to be in this body feeling. This body's out of control. Here we go. Down the sliding scale of acute stress response, panic dreams, all these things. He got healed of that memory, and he didn't even remember that it had been a thing. I had another kid who was traumatized as a child watching some demonic, scary movie that his parent wasn't discerning enough not to let the kid watch. And he was sitting by the grate on the floor and could feel this thing coming and getting him and terrorizing him. He carried around into his teens, and we took him through a healing process, got rid of some demonic stuff. And last time I asked him about it, he goes, he had to recall that it was even a thing. And that was a recurring nightmare in his physicality up through his teens until it wasn't, right? This is what's amazing about emotional healing. This is why God isn't telling you, well, suck it up, Buttercup. You got the wrong hand in life. You've been traumatized. Too bad for you. Cope. Go get some more anti-anxiety meds. Just suck it up. Try to have a positive attitude. Try to cope. Deal with that. No. You can actually drain the pain out of the memories that are stored as cells in your body. And guess what that does? It turns off the fight or flight response so you can heal. Cells in fight or flight response don't heal. They stay in stress. And they are, according to all the medical literature anybody who's anybody will tell you that stress is the #1 cause of disease. And what's the #1 cause of stress? Painful memories stored in your cells. So if you're feeling like you don't want your body, you don't like your body, you're uncomfortable in your body's betraying you, your body's panicking, your body's, the nightmares, the aches and pains, the deep aches, the deep bowel issues, IBS, stress like that, various things, even back pains and weird phantom pains. Look for a time determined to experience emotional healing, to get that out of your body. Get that pain out of your body. And then what you do is you learn to live out of the truth, right? And again, it's a really great resource. 3 Easy Steps to Emotional Healing by Praying Medic. It's really good. That's a cool thing to do. Get a friend to go through it with you. But I just want to make you body aware. Listen to what your body's telling you. Take some cues. Use the intelligence. Take that as a calling, as permission, as an invitation to get well, to get whole, to get healed, so your body can heal. So it doesn't carry all that stuff around for you, right? And so it can learn to have a natural feeling of security. Your body can learn to feel secure when you're emotionally healed and you're believing the truth. Right? I appreciate you guys. Thanks for showing up here today. And I'll be back as often as I can.